having me. Thanks
Of
for having
course.
me.
Yeah. So the podcast is about your journey in music and how you got to where you are now. I was reading your bio a little bit. I did see are you from New York originally?
Yes, I grew
Okay.
up upstate, so I'm like an hour and a half out of the city, Carmel, New York. Um, Not really big music scene here, but so I kind of was discovered through doing YouTube videos and stuff. So I would
Hmm.
go online, make videos, and live stream on this app called YouNow. And I mean, I think I was like 16, and these two guys reached out to me, and I would travel every Friday. Like my high school let me leave every Friday, and I would go down and work on my EP, which is
Wow.
crazy that the school let me do that. But I did end up leaving. I think it was senior year to do online schooling because I was
Mm.
like given the opportunity to go on tour with Charlie Puth. So that was like, I don't think I should take
I don't think I
yeah, I
need
should
high school
definitely do
again.
that. Yeah. But yeah, so that's kind of how I think everything began, really.
Wow. Okay. So upstate New York, how did you get into music originally?
So my family, I mean, everybody in my family loves music. My sister plays. I was in a duo originally with my sister.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, we played local places and she played the bongo. Like it was like this kind of cutesy little thing that, we were trying out. And my mom kind of was managing us at the time. But it was fun. And I love my sister still plays, but obviously being an artist, it's a lot of pressure. And I think that, she'd rather be doing it at home as like,
A hobby.
for fun.
Yeah. Versus
Yeah,
professionally, so
really.
to speak. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you
And
started,
yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, my dad taught us both guitar. So that's
Oh,
also,
really? Did
yeah.
he play in a band or anything growing up?
Maybe a high school band that he never
Oh,
talks about, but
sure.
no. Yeah, not that I know.
But he did teach you how to play guitar. What
Yeah.
what what age was that?
I think I was like 7 or 8 years old.
Okay, so very young. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's
And
kind of, yeah, just in the family.
okay. And
Music.
you talked about YouTube videos. I'm sure that came a little bit later, right? I mean, you pick up guitar. And what about singing? Sorry, I want to back up a little bit. Were you always a singer?
Yeah, I mean, being that my dad would play when I was younger and I would kind of sing like, but I couldn't even speak when I was like 2 or 3, but obviously, but I remember we have like voice memos of me singing like along with my dad playing guitar. And so it's always something that I've kind of just done. It kind of
Hmm.
naturally was just something I enjoyed singing.
Ever
We
take
have this,
lessons or?
oh, I did. I think as I kind of was like trying to figure out my own voice, I had a voice coach, Melissa, help me.
Mhm.
And it was around the time because, when I was doing my EP, I wanted to make sure I was strong enough vocally, like, because when we were going in like daily on things, it's a lot of like vocal stuff going on and you're just, it's a lot of singing, a lot of
Mhm.
vocal takes. And so yeah, maybe around like 17, 18 years old, I was working with a voice coach. And every now and then if I feel like, I feel like a little hoarse, I always could, reach out to her. But
Mhm. Is the
yeah.
EP you're talking about, is that a little awkward? Is that the record you're talking about now, or is a different one?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, that's like
Okay.
4 years ago, I think. I think it's
Okay. Yeah. From what I'm seeing, it came out, yeah, about 2016. So we have 4
yeah,
years ago. So, wow. Okay. So you were traveling to write and record this record while you're still in high school.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. I want to get into like how that all started. Like you did talk about YouTube, and I've seen some of your YouTube videos, like the mashups and stuff you do are incredible. Like
Thank you.
so cool, and your voice is insane too. So, like, how did that all kind of begin? So you get the guitar, start learning to play. Then what?
Hmm.
How did the thing start
It
rolling for you?
kind of began with honestly my mom putting Facebook videos out to the world. It's funny, the light. I
Really?
look like a ghost. Sorry, I'm like trying to. Okay, but um, yeah, my mom would put like Facebook videos out online, and people would want to see more, and I'd be like, okay. So I kind of transitioned onto YouTube and was trying to do weekly things. And I'm very bad at being consistent, but I'd try to get a post up, when I could. Uh, and yeah, kind of from Facebook videos to then YouTube. And then I discovered this app, YouNow, and they really helped me too. Like, because it was a Billboard article written up as like, YouNow is this new platform. It was kind of before live streaming really hit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I was kind of one of their artists that, I was singing. There's a lot of great artists kind of that were on the platform at the time. And yeah, it was cool. It was just like kind of this whirlwind of like everything kind of
Started
working
going.
and moving. Yeah.
Yeah. So it started with your mom doing the Facebook videos, and obviously people were her friends or whatever reacting like, "Oh wow, you're really good." So obviously, that probably helped validate what you're doing a little bit. So you
Yeah.
started
I
putting.
honestly, yeah, I don't like looking at comments and stuff. I
Oh, you
try like,
don't? Okay.
yeah, I mean,
Well,
obviously it's like it's there and you end up kind of doing it, but I think it's better to, I don't know, make my own thing and just be like, okay, let me just because I'm very critical and I'll look at a video over and over again and
mhm.
then not want to end up posting it because I'm like, oh, that's not good. But
Okay. You'd rather
yeah,
just put it out there and just go away from it, walk away from it.
yes,
Okay. Okay.
definitely.
So you're doing this, you're doing YouTube, this app, You Now. I saw that on you submitted some stuff to us so I, could research a bit. And I had never heard of this app. So how did you find out about this like platform for music?
I feel like, I mean, as a singer, you kind of get to know just through the internet. I don't remember exactly how I found out about You Now, but I think maybe another friend of mine who's also a singer at the time. I don't even remember. It feels so
Mhm.
long ago, but there's just definitely this community of like just artists online right now. And there's always been, I guess, but
Right.
you find yourself in these little, like what you talk to one person, then that opens the door and you talk to another person. But
Mhm.
um, I think it was just through like a friend of mine. I just saw they were going on there. So I tried it out. And obviously when you start on any platform, you get like, it's hard to grow a fan base from the beginning, but
Sure.
the first few lives I would have like one or two people in there and you just kind of keep going on. And I'd talk to like anybody, you talk to whoever's there on the end of the screen and
Right. Right.
like live stream, but it slowly grew. And yeah, I mean, yeah, I haven't gone on You Now in a while, but I do try to kind of get back into live stream spaces here and there because that's kind of where I began.
Yeah, I did see you did with your new song. You did like a collab or a mashup with the Harry Styles song recently. I saw that. That was
Oh
kind of
yeah,
like a stream video, and that looked great. I mean, and how good that was. It's amazing. It's incredible.
thank you.
hmm
The
Uh,
my favorite one was the one you had mentioned, the Crazy Train. That one's really fun.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with a little awkward, how did that record begin? Like, were you when you go on like You Now, and when you were going on Facebook, were you doing cover songs or were you putting out original songs?
Mainly cover songs, and I was slowly trying to figure out what I mean, I feel like I was writing a bit with my sister at the time, and my dad would chime in, and it would be like, I'm not really sure what the hell we're writing about, like, like we're kind of making up stories and stuff. But
Yeah.
uh, yeah, it was mainly cover stuff I put on YouTube, and then I think I would put like little bits and pieces of some things I was working on, original stuff. Um, and I think just going into the city and working, it was Peter Zizzo, Mike Mangini, and Amani Capola was my kind of writing team, and they produced this EP. Um, and I think, they had worked with some really cool artists in the past, and I mean, I was so young, I feel like I didn't necessarily know what I wanted to say or even who I am and
hmm
what I want to portray to people. But yeah, I think it still is a evolving process of like the branding side of like what I look like and all that stuff. Um, I don't know. Yeah, I think I was so young at the time. Again, it feels like it was such a cool experience. But looking back at some of those songs, I'm like, what the heck am I singing about?
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, how did you meet that group of people? Like, did somebody reach out to you and say, "Hey, I want to help you produce a record," or did you put out an original song that kind of started getting attention or something? Like, how did you end up making that
Somebody,
relationship to create the record?
I was playing locally in Carmel, and I would do like probably a show every 2 weeks or every week, just kind of a coffee shop. I played Starbucks, like,
Oh, just like open mic
yeah,
night type things. Okay.
yeah, just kind of just performing anywhere I could. And I think somebody in Carmel knew of Pete Zizzo or Mike, and so they reached out to them, and they sent this video of me singing "Just Like a Star" by Kern Bailey Ray, and
Mhm.
it's me sitting on the couch, like I'm like this tiny little person, like like it's just I look so funny. But yeah, they sent that video, and I think that that's kind of what excited them, that one little video. And then I ended up going down there. And at the time I was with my sister. So it was kind of like we tried this sister duo thing, but then I think it was a lot of pressure on Sam, my sister. And I kind of just ended up also discovering the loop pedal, which I'm able to really like create another person with on stage, because I'm able to beatbox and, you know, harmonize with myself and all that stuff. So yeah, I think it worked out, even though I wish my sister was still on stage with me sometimes, but yeah.
So she helped you record that record, that first one? Was she on the album at all?
I wish, no.
Oh,
But
okay.
we did a few like songs beforehand, trying to like feel everything out about like, even like with, you know, it's kind of scary from upstate. It's like, I live in the woods, and the city was kind of a big deal just to be traveling down there and just getting used to that. So that was like a big thing initially, but yeah.
And then you put the album out, and was that just independently released, or did you have a record label?
That one, Mike Mangini, who was on that writing team, he had worked with Steve Greenberg before on past projects. So I think I ended up releasing that with S-Curve. We had done like, I had visited a few labels, and I think Mike had like worked with Steve really well in the past, and I was like, okay, well, this will work, and it just kind of clicked together. And it worked. Yeah.
Very cool. And were you still in high school when that record came out?
Yes. You know, I remember like bits and pieces of touring and like doing homework in hotels and like just hating it. like
so you even toured on the EP?
Yeah, that EP definitely like kind of ignited, I mean, even the Pooh thing, because I wouldn't have original material to be like touring with if I didn't really work with those guys for a few years and figure out, you know, what I could do live. And yeah, it's like you need some original stuff if you're gonna tour, right?
Sure. Like what was the first, was the Charlie Puth tour the first one you did?
That was my first tour, which is really crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What like, tell me about that. Like, what were the rooms you were playing, and had you played in front of that many people before?
No. I mean, you know, I had this gig when I was with my sister. We met, I don't know how, it was just this really cool thing. We got to do the Apollo. You know how they have like amateur night for kid, I think it's for like a kid night or something. But we ended up doing that. This is before the tour, but that was like probably the only time I'd ever played for an audience that size. But, and then this Puth tour. But I mean, going from coffee shops to then this first initial tour being the Puth one was like crazy. It was, yeah. I remember one night of the tour, my loop pedal didn't work, and it's just me on stage, you know, like I'm like, it's just me. And when my gear goes bad, I was like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? But I ended up like going on the edge of the stage and just kind of doing an acoustic set, which kind of worked out in a way. It was like, oh, it felt a little more intimate. I think it was in New Orleans. Yeah, it was a crazy thing. Wow. I feel like it was a dream. Like, I don't know. I feel like I lived another life.
Yeah. What a way to adapt, though. I mean, having your stuff go awry and you're on this major tour. I mean, Charlie Puth is huge. And then having your gear not work and just to be able to just go, you know what? I'm just going to play acoustic.
Yeah, I know. I think I'm better under pressure sometimes. So, yeah.
Well, that's amazing. So you get back from the Charlie Puth tour. You put out a full-length record, right? The Hardwired Mixtape. That's a full length. And tell me about that record, and when did you start writing that? And
I mean, that one I think is when I kind of was experimenting more on my own and trying to find my own voice lyrically, and just kind of having that time on my own. Like, obviously I grew a little bit with Mike and Pete, and they really helped me just learn how to craft a song. And, you know, even watching them, you know, how they record a guitar, little things, just picking up on those things and using them when I'm sitting down. I started on GarageBand on my own, and, you know, I made some of those songs on Hardwired on GarageBand.
Really? And the actual versions that made the record were the GarageBand demos you did?
Yeah, I mean, that one, yeah, I know. I love GarageBand. But yeah, I think it was, even with, I don't feel like that's necessarily an album, but it's like this kind of, these bits and pieces of me like growing into a producer, I think, and figuring, like, just still finding my sound, I guess. But yeah, I just feel like I had so many of these ideas sitting around. I want something out, and I was like, I feel like we can craft these pieces into something, and that's what, we've named it a mixtape.
Oh, okay. So that was pretty much the whole record was demoed from you and on GarageBand, and then those were just songs that you guys kind of picked through and
I think it's
rebuilt,
like
or
50-50. There's some also from the Pete and Mike era, and then also it's like a mixture of
of all of
GarageBand
them?
and Pete and Mike in the studio. So it's kind of molded into this weird mixtape.
That's awesome. And then with that, like after the Charlie Puth tour, did you return and like start writing what became that album, or were you doing other tours in between?
I think I have done. I think it was like that one tour. After that tour, I was more. I think I ended up touring more. I feel like
Okay.
I had done a tour with AJR, us the duo, and I was trying to just get out like on the road as much as I can, like because touring is a lot, and I think you really got to like I don't know. That first tour definitely taught me a lot. Like just I think I was I was in a van for that one. I feel it's all like a blur.
Sure.
It really is. I don't know touring. I just don't remember anything. But yeah, I think I'm trying to remember after that tour what happened. Yeah, I don't know.
Good. It's all good. What would you say like the milestone from that mixtape record would be?
I think that I really love that song Hardwired is kind of what sparked the idea of kind of doing the mixtape and just kind of getting a new body of work out. Cause I think Hardwired was the song that really felt like this is something. I wrote it with a friend of mine. Cause I was doing writing trips here and there. I'm really bad at like time frame of when the hell I did anything, but I flew out. It was an LA trip of just kind of writing with new people and people I had worked with in the past. And me and my friend Maggie wrote this song. I had like a little voice memo on my phone of this hardwired differently. And just like this little idea. And we were writing another song. We were in my like hotel, like snacking on cookies and just like, I was like, we're going to build this to the label. And I showed her like this voice note and I was like, yeah, what do you think of this? And she's like, we should do something with that. So we ended up, I think, we started a new song that night. I think we had wrote maybe half of it, or I don't know if we finished the whole song, but I don't know. I love how that song came together and it feels like really personal. And I feel like I was able to get how I feel out into a song, which is sometimes hard when lyrically to really get your feelings out into a song. But yeah, I love that one.
And it looks like it was pretty well received. I mean, on Spotify, it's over 1 million plays.
That just happened. It's cool.
Tell me about the moment you saw that happen.
My manager actually texted me. He's like, "Hey, just letting you know, it's about to hit 1 million soon." And I was like, "Oh, cool."
Wow. Yeah. Was it like on a playlist or something? Like how did you first, was that the song that kind of first showed you like real streaming numbers, or did you have other songs kind of going?
I mean, I think Geeks, that was like the first release.
That one's almost at 1 million. You're pretty close on that one too. So you might get another text message here in the next couple of weeks.
That's funny. Yeah. I don't even like look at the numbers. I mean, okay. I think it's really cool to see like, oh wow, it hit 1 million, which is really cool. But I think again, if I paid too much attention to that, I'd be like, okay, what can I make to make it hit 1 million? I don't want to think that.
Overthink it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. I know you have a new song that just came out or a couple weeks ago, and a new record on the way as well. Okay. I want to get to that real quick. I want to know where you were and like how like coronavirus affected you personally in your career.
I mean, everything slowed down, and as like same way it did, I think, for the entire world.
Were you like on tour or anything, or working on or in the studio?
Thankfully, I was actually home kind of, and I have like, I'm able to do stuff at home. Like I feel like slowly learning like producing on my own has been like definitely a big help in making stuff. And I have this little studio set up like right here, and I mean, I'm thankful that I'm able to do it at home and like really work on, I mean, I love working with people, but I think it's also a really big advantage to, just be able to do it on my own and really, play the instruments. And I don't know, I want to do everything on my own. Like, I want to do it all. But
is that how you typically work? Like on your records, do you play everything?
For most of them, I think when I was younger, I think I would play some of the guitar parts, and they might have piped it in later on when I was younger. I don't know. Sometimes I think I'm like, did I do that? But yeah, for these new songs I'm producing, and A Boy Named Pluto, this past release that came out 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
That was produced at home. We had a friend, Memba, they helped with drums. But
other
yeah,
than that was produced in the room you're sitting in. Wow.
Yeah, or upstairs, but
upstairs. Yeah. Okay. But in the house, in the vicinity you're
Yeah.
at. Wow, that's incredible. That song is amazing. I love the melody for it. It's great. And I just watched the animated like claymation music video you guys did for it. That was really cool as well. Was that something that you had to come up with after the fact because, you know, people weren't shooting music videos and stuff during quarantine?
Yes, with the song, it's like a story. So it's like, I feel like I shouldn't really be the main focus in a video. Like, I feel like it's more about the story we're telling. So I ended up reaching out to my sister's friend. She goes to Skidmore. So we worked through quarantine, emailing back and forth about this claymation thing. And, you know, I had to make her like remake the character. She was like, what? Because stop motion's like, no, it's a big thing. Yeah. So yeah, it came together really cool, and I feel like the claymation really brings like these characters to life. And yeah,
it's cool. It's really cool. And again, the song, I love it. It's such a cool song, and the version you did where you mixed it up with Harry Styles also it's really rad. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. So A Boy Named Pluto is going to be a part of another record or EP? What do you have planned?
I'm still figuring it out. I think there's a lot of songs right now in the vault, especially being home all the time with quarantine, and we've been working on a lot of stuff at home. My boyfriend and I produce a lot of things together, and
cool.
We write together too. But I think I'm not sure yet whether it's EP, album. I think we got to sift through the songs and figure out what works with what. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you so much, Hailey, for talking with me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. I do have one more question. I want to know if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
I guess being able to like produce on my own has really helped me. I think as any artist hears things and they know what they want in their head, and sometimes it's hard to like tell somebody that, but I think it really helps like really learning, being able to just knowing you can do it yourself. I think so. I mean, learn producing and learn, if you can learn it all, do it. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm not good with advice, but there's a little advice.